So, I'm Maxime from the Association Nation des Femmes, and I'm going to speak about. Ah, le titre a disparu.
Sorry,
Non, c'est pas grave.
il est là.
Parce que je l'aimais bien ce titre. So, Feminist Guy, I think. What for? It was the
Yeah.
correct title. C'est pas très grave.
Ici, ici, là. Just before.
Tac.
One
Encore.
before? Another one? Yes.
Et voilà. Feminist men, what for? Okay, so the first time I made my coming out as a feminist, it was with a group of friends. I told them, male friends, have to precise, hey guys, I'm going to join a new feminist movement called the Women Foundation, La Fondation des Femmes. They look at me as if I was, a UFO, okay? Max, what's the deal? So we had a beer together, and I told them this story. The story of my friend Paul Terry. Paul is 40, okay? He's married to Mary. They've just had their second child, Alex, and their elder daughter is called Ella. Paul works in a big information technology company. Mary is a lawyer in a law firm. Actually, she was. First part of my story, the return of maternity leave. Mary has just returned from maternity leave. After 3 weeks, she was told that she had to look for a collaboration, somewhere else. Paul is first. His wife feels depressed, and the income of the family decreases. 6 months later, Paul experienced a similar situation in his own office. Her neighbor was discreetly moved to another service since she gave birth to her lovely twins. What would you do in this situation? What will Paul do? Stay silent? Basically, he won't. He decided to organize a discussion with a big part of the company about women returns from maternity leave. However, it's not without risk for Paul. But Paul knows that he won't be able to look at himself anymore if he does not act at his own level. Part 2 of my story, ordinary sexism, and harassment. Mary has found some work. Disappointed by lawyer offices, she's working now as a jurist in a company. Everything goes well until the arrival of her new boss. After daily reflections on her clothes, this guy sits down systematically in front of her in the self restaurant and plays, footsie under the table. Last week, her boss went even farther. He slid a hand down her neck as she was presenting him a document. Mary was paralyzed. She's afraid of losing her job again if she says something to management. She spoke a lot about the situation with Paul, with her husband, who just wanted to match both. Finally, she decided to switch for a more boring work in the same company. The next day, Paul attends a new discussion during a coffee break. Hey guys, what about the new sex bomb of the second floor? Oh man, she slept with the CEO to get this job, obviously. So, what would you do in this situation? And what will Paul do? Will he stare at his feet as usual? No. He told them, gentlemen, everything begins as a joke, and then it becomes harassment. Here. That seems nothing, but when you decide, as a man, to interrupt a discussion of this type, it's already a very, very important act, a brave act. I hardly believe that we are all able to realize this kind of act. Part 3. Equality is a chance for women and for men. Few weeks later, Paul wants to bring his baby Alex to the doctor. Usually, her wife or the nanny manage this kind of stuff, but today they can't. At 4 p.m., Paul, closes his computer when he sees Mr. Martin, his boss. And Martin looks at him and tells him, "Oh, Paul, you're taking your day off. It's 4 o'clock. You have no woman to take care of this day-to-day matters." This time, Paul will not look at his feet. He will settle quietly in an office with his boss and will explain to him that the priority is his daughter's health. The discussion will be frank, manly, viril, as we say in French, but it will finish well. Yes, the equality between women and men benefits all women, but also all men, because men are also the target of sexist stereotypes. Part 4, sexist stereotypes. It's the weekend. Paul finally is able to relax. He takes his daughter Ella in a toy store so she can choose, her Christmas presents. Ella is playing with a plastic plane. When arrives the seller of the store, she tells her, "Oh, but you are so cute. What's your name, Ella? Oh, I'm sure that you want to become a stewardess when you grew up." Ella is surprised. She looks at Paul, amazed. She stares at the seller and tells her proudly, "No, madam, I want to become a pilot." So this story was the last shock for Paul. Weeks pass. Paul changed. It takes more time for himself. For his children, he's not less effective at work. On the contrary, because he's more happy there. 3 days ago, he went jogging with a body who whistled for a woman. He stopped dead. It was heated at first, but it ended around a beer to the bar. At home, Paul does a little more household chores and groceries. Yesterday, he found his daughter in front of the television, who pretended to be a model housewife by imitating a TV ad. "Oh, I cannot live anymore without my vacuum cleaner. It's simple, I cannot live with it anymore." So Paul was really irritated by this situation. When putting her to bed, he slightly changed the bedtime story, which he usually reads to her. The girl does not wait for the Prince Charming in her dreams anymore. It's her who saves the prince from the flames because he's not very skillful with barbecues. As you can see, many men, in time and the evolution of the mentalities, at least I hope, begin to change their behavior. On one hand, because for nothing in the world, they would want their wife, their daughter, or their mother continue to be the target of sexist prejudice or violence, but also because they know that long term, this road towards equality also benefits them. Now, I have a dream. Okay, that's not for me. That men stand by women tomorrow, united, that all, not as fathers, not as sons or husbands, just as men, happy to evolve in a world more equal and thus a better world. Thank you.